send her something for Christmas. I'm like, yeah, I was really trying to get an address, but all I got was a post office box. I boxed her up a package with clothes, no tags. I went to the Goodwill Center and I bought her some nice stuff and I put it in a box, some shampoos, no cards, no money. She called and she was very happy about it. We also did a video chat through Facebook, and I called to see if I could have that traced or reported somehow, and you can. I could tell that she was wasting away though. The police, I would call, like I said about the video, and they would tell me she is not missing, that she doesn't want to be found. The police, the missing persons report was relinquished, whatever. They said she was not considered missing. In February of 2017, I learned Victoria was no longer with this man and was back in the streets. She was homeless. Had one of my contacts to tell me they had seen her at a Burger King in Lake Worth, Florida. I don't know much about that area, but I'm being told it's a very, very bad area, probably much like the Bronx. I felt my heart just ripped right out of my chest. At this time, Victoria had several warrants for her arrest, both in North Carolina and now in Florida. I knew she was facing certain death if she continued this road, and I began to pray to God to allow me just to bring her home. I begged my other children to prepare themselves. I took more life insurance out on her. I had seen so many parents in my group that couldn't find their children or had found them months later that had laid in a ditch or an alley and had decayed. And I asked God not to let my child die that way. Please not let it be violent. Victoria would call me randomly from strangers' phones just to say she was okay. I would beg her, please, please, Victoria, meet me, let me go help you. No, Mama, I'm not ready, I'm not going to prison. The last arrest was on March 14th, 2017. Victoria was arrested again. This time she knew she was facing her 2-year prison sentence. She had all the warrants, FTAs, charges, filing. And I was thankful. I was so ready for this. She called me immediately, and this time I heard her calm in her voice, and she said, I can't do this anymore. She was in complete acceptance of everything. There was no fussing. Every time she called, she would listen. She didn't even complain about having to detox again in a jail cell. She had accepted her fate, and I encouraged her to start writing. She told me that she wanted to be a recovery specialist one day and to share her story. And she even said, Mama, there's stuff you really don't know. I told her I didn't want to know, I knew enough. So she started writing. She reconnected with us, her brother. Those were the best 38 days, and I thank God every day for them. Her trial was set for April the 25th. Her and her brother and I, we were planning to go down to be at her trial. And she called me on the 19th. She said, Mom, they're moving my case up. Jails got crowded. I felt a sick stomach feeling. I knew something was fixing to happen. There was no way I could be down on the 19th. The next day, that morning. And she had called me that night on the 18th. I said, I can't be down there that soon. I said, Victoria, please call me the minute they let you out, or when you get back to your cell. I could not believe by 3 o'clock that afternoon I had not heard anything. I kept calling, and it takes time for them to transfer the scripts back to the cell, and learned that she was being released on time served to be a convicted felon. I told him, you just signed her death certificate. It's like dangling candy in front of baby. I mean, she was too early. She took it. She called me that night and was back with the older man that had her in the methadone clinic. He had been in court that day, and she had been in contact with him those 38 days. So he went there, and he was worried too. He said, Victoria, I think you need to listen to your mom. From 3 o'clock to that afternoon, from when I heard from her, I got on Facebook, got back in my support group. I had people right there ready to go pick her up and get her in a sober living home. So Victoria, you're sober, 38 days clean, you need to go now. Mama, please, all I want to do is one night. Just go at the beach. I want to sit on the beach. I want to have one meal. Just let me have this one night, and I promise I'll go tomorrow. The last time I heard from Victoria was around midnight. She had sent me a text message that she was eating strawberries and a Cool Whip the way we used to do when she was little. On April the 21st, I got up that morning and I called her. I sent her several texts. I didn't hear anything back. And I thought to myself, well, she's there she goes again. She's probably already in the streets getting high again. We got off work that Friday afternoon, and I went home, and within 30 minutes, a sheriff's car pulled in my yard. He said he needed to talk to me and Gerald. I knew something was wrong. He started explaining, well, you know, Victoria was released yesterday. I said, yeah, I know. I said, she already got in trouble again. He said, Miss Forrest, Victoria's overdosed this morning. I said, where is she? The way he looked, I knew she was gone. All my fears I had thought about for so long was actually happening and coming true. I just felt myself going down to the floor. I remember Gerald coming over and the officer, and we all went down together and cried. I remember hearing Ashley outside as Heather met her and told her, and her screaming. I remember Jenna coming in and us crying. And when Chad got in, his little sister he had watched share the crib with was gone. My children were amazing to me. They told me to go rest, Mama. We got it from here. As we planned her funeral, they both spoke at her funeral, stood by her. It was a very hard time. I pray nobody ever has to go through it. 14 weeks, a year today, actually, we received the cause of Victoria's death. It was carfentanil. Carfentanil heroin intoxication. I had a long conversation with the man that Victoria was with. I still talk to him today. I know he tried to help Victoria the best that he could. Today I will share Victoria's story in hopes that somebody will listen and that it'll help save somebody. Today I'm thankful that God answered my prayers. He didn't let Victoria die a horrible death. He allowed me to bring her home. He gave me 38 beautiful days with her. I have the 38 days she was in jail. She wrote in her journal. And I have on the table her journal copies. If anybody who would like to read what she wrote, you're welcome to have one. Thank you for having me today. And keep us in your prayers.